So this has been the show that everyone's been having about for all these years? Okay. Oh, hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX, and welcome to What's on the Tomb, or welcome back if you're really wanting to hear me talk about TV shows while we're currently in this drought. That is the COVID delays. Gotta hate it. Anywho, so this week on What's on the Tomb, our normal content, our usually regularly scheduled content, is not airing episodes this week. No Rookie, no Nancy Drew, no Katie Clee. So we're doing a bunch of one-offs to kind of, fill up the time as well as give some updates on what I've been watching since that I've not been talking about on any of the show. So we're talking about Game of Thrones, specifically only season 1 to 6. Why specifically those? Because I had just recently finished watching season 6, and it's going to be a while before I get to season 7 or 8, because I have Smallville to watch, Swamp Thing, Titan season 2, Young Sheldon, Modern Family, Seinfeld, Castlevania. It's gonna be a while before I get to Game of Thrones season. So it's gonna be a really long while, and I think this is gonna be a very controversial episode of the show, because I'm gonna be completely honest with all of y'all. I'm gonna skip ahead. I think Game of Thrones is overhyped. I really do believe it, because I think it's maybe because I don't like the medieval genre. Maybe I've been forcing myself for so many. Here's the thing. Before I continue. I like Game of Thrones. I really like it, but I don't love it. Do you see what I'm meaning here? It's like I've heard for so many years that this was, oh my god, the best show on TV. This is so great. Yeah, and like it's the best thing. It's the closest thing to cinema on TV. is the god of making TV content. I mean, I've heard it all and on, and then eventually, I think 2 years ago, no, about more than a year ago, not 2 years, I had purchased the Game of Thrones DVDs via a Black Friday sale. I was like, okay, I'm gonna binge this all before the final season. Didn't happen, because the problem is that this show was so overhyped that I immediately thought, okay, episode 1, let's go. We're gonna go all in. This is gonna be the next big thing, and I kind of got bored. I really did. And this is gonna be a recurring theme: is that I get a little bit excited, then I get bored. And it's because there wasn't a hook. There wasn't the hook. This wasn't the Big Bang Theory for me, where it's like, I can't explain it. There was a hook to that show that made me want to keep going. Game of Thrones didn't necessarily made me keep going forward. Okay, I'm excited for the next episode. I'm going to keep watching it. Maybe just a few more minutes in the next episode before I go to work, and then I'll come back later. No. Actually, as a fun comparison, like, I just put in Smallville season 4, and I just went for the first 4 episodes. Like that. No breaks, no like, okay, I'm going to stand up, I'm going to go do something else, and then I'll come back to it later. No. I literally sat through 4 episodes with no breaks. While Game of Thrones, it would be, okay, 1 episode's done, I'm going to turn it off, go do something else, maybe come back with the other episode, and then it would be maybe a good week before I go back to the next episode. It just did not hook me in. It did not. And I think everyone has to understand, like, there are people, like, I keep hearing this joke, like, there's a 1% of the population that has never seen a single Game of Thrones episode. That was me for the longest time. It was the same thing as I grow older and more mature with my my television watching content, where there are the series shows I love, and then there's the dramatic shows I love, and then there's the comedy shows I love, and then there's the superhero shows that I love. There's a lot of different types of mediums, and I have to be open to exploring all of them. I have to. It's for me, since I started my whole TV watching journey with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. back in 2013, it's like I gotta be open to everything. Game of Thrones was something that my mom has been excessively bugging me for years. Like, oh, you should watch this, Equal. This is an amazing show. You're gonna love it. And I told her, maybe. And then she got really excited when I bought the DVDs. Like, oh, you're finally gonna watch it. And then I just never talk about it, because like, it's just I don't even relate to my mom on that. Like, it's so weird. Like, I just never felt the hook that everyone keeps talking about. Like, and we're gonna go through this. We're gonna do a very different version of the Butchered Recap, where I'm gonna go through the whole series and talk about it. So season 1 kicked off. I believe it was the whole forest scene, where I think we get introduced to these either it's the wildlings or the White Walkers. I don't remember. We get some sort of like demonic overview present that there's something else out there. Then we get into the mythology of the kingdoms, and how the Iron Throne, for some coincidental plot reason, I think it's because, from what I remember, the original king died or someone died, and now everyone is suddenly think, oh, there's a power opening, like I should rule the throne because of this lineage or someone else. And then meanwhile, all the way across the sea, it's like it's weird. And so going through the first season of Game of Thrones, there were some good moments. Like I'll get through the good ones. Like first of all, based off when we reached towards the end of the first season, my expectations were subverged, and I'll get to more of that. So it's like, by the way, I'm going to spoil a lot of stuff in Game of Thrones. So if you haven't seen any of the first 6 seasons, do yourself a favor. Don't watch this, or watch it if you don't care. I really don't mind. So I'll get to that in a moment. Peter Dinklage does an amazing job. Like that's the one thing I underestimated this show. Peter Dinklage does an amazing fucking job as Tyrone Lannister. I want to make sure before Game of Thrones nuts start attacking me. I'm not really good with names. If you watch any of my What's on the Tube content, I am not great with names. He was great. I think honestly, hands down, probably the best performance of the show. He definitely deserves all the Emmys he won. He deserves it. And besides that, yeah, I really can't think of much. I guess this show is like in a very different time period where this is more of like, this isn't modern day, like, oh, this is not right or this is weird. Like, we even get 5 episodes in, they already introduced a brother-sister incest relationship. I'm like, what? Like, I don't get it. Like, I understand, like, okay, why not? I'm thinking of that scene from That's My Boy where the fiance of Andy Samberg's character was cheating on him, but she was actually banging her brother. That's kind of where I relate to in terms of my understandability of the fact these things tend to happen. And then we start getting introduced to more characters, and especially, like, the thing is that I see the season 1 post, I'm like, oh, this is Ned Stark, he's our protagonist, and then we have cool characters like Jon Snow, and obviously Peter Dinklage's character, the Lannisters, the Starks, and there's a lot of other things, and no offense, I don't remember all of them, I'm sorry. There's just too many subplots going around, and I know that was the charm of Game of Thrones. Like, there's so many things going on that eventually, once like we get to later season, we start seeing them interalign or start seeing characters from what subplot go into the different subplot and getting to see those two worlds mesh. I think eventually, when we get to season 4 or 5, was cool. I get that. I thought that was cool too. But I'll get more of that later. But it was kind of a slow burn, and the weird thing is that when mostly on the Essos storyline, when we focus on Daenerys and her. Well, first of all, I'll say this, and I'm sorry if I'm a jumbled mess. I'm jumping all over the place. Like, the assholes in this show, like the people who generally are assholes, people you want to hate, are freaking horrible. They are horrible. Like Daenerys' brother, piece of crap. He deserves what happened to him at the end of the first season. And the fact that it was weird how her brother sold Daenerys as practically a sex slave to Jason Momoa. Pretty much for a good maybe like a few episodes, maybe even like timeline lines a few weeks. All she was a sex slave to him. And I mean, I guess some people got off on that because like the one thing everyone kept talking about Game of Thrones was like, oh, the sex scenes are amazing. I'm like, are they? I mean, I'm more critical on those things nowadays, so you might want to recorrect your statement there, people. Anywho, so, and then the moment where it's like, okay, this show is, maybe I'm finally understanding what people are talking about. When we got to the penultimate episode of season 1 where we see everything's going wrong for Ned Stark, I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, who's going to save him? Is it going to be that mountain dude from before? Is one of his daughters going to do something? Is some random citizen who's going to suddenly be in a major important character in season 2 going to show up? Is Jon Snow going to miraculously make an appearance in the finale? Is going to be explaining him? Oh, how did he get to the King's Landing? How did he get there? Sort of no. The protagonist, at least what we thought was the main protagonist, he dies. He's dead. And it's like, okay, is this some Walking Dead fake out where it's like, okay, no, he's really alive. It's like it's not dead. Like, no, we saw the chop down. I'm like, oh my god. damn, that's when I thought, okay, now the show has me intrigued. Now I'm interested. And then I think that was kind of I understand why it had to be the penultimate episode. I understood that, where we need to see the fallout, the ramifications of that event keep going into the second season. And then I'm just gonna say this. I forgot his name. I forgot the name. The king that came after the fat guy. And I'm sorry for saying that. I don't remember names. Like the big Lannister who turned out not to be the real father of any of his kids because of the incest relationship. When he died, the next son became the king. Joffrey. He's such a dick. The actor played him so well to be a dick. I'm like, oh my god! I swear to God, I would not care. I would go up to this kid and I would punch the living hell out of him. He was a horrible human being. Horrible. The things he did, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so I always felt like there would be, he's gonna have a redemption story. No, he never had a redemption story. He just sucked. Not as the character in terms of development, in terms of like reviewing him, he just sucked. He was a horrible human being. Horrible. Anyway, so, and I don't remember much for season 2. I really don't. Like season 2 kind of is a blur for me. Like I know there was the battle at Blackwater, I believe. I know that was where Peter Dinklage, Tyrone gets his scar. I know that. I know that's where we also get introduced to. This is where all the kids start separating. This is where now the Stark kids are getting their own subplots within this already massive one. I don't understand the Demon Lord storyline. I don't like that character just keeps popping up. It's like, is this supposed to be important? Because like we're not really focused much on this. Like, this is going to be like the secret final boss at the end of the series. Because again, I don't know what happened in season 7 or 8. So if it does happen, okay, I'll get there when I get there. If it doesn't happen, well, that was a waste. I really don't know. Again, I don't remember much from season 2. I don't. I honestly do not. Besides the battle, besides being introduced to Bree, and seeing the Starks carry off to different parts of the world, I don't remember much from season 2 at all. And yeah, I really don't. And then we get to season 3, and I think this is where the dragons become big. I think. I don't remember if this is the season Joffrey died yet. I think that was season 4 now that I think about it. The other thing I remember about season 3 is that once Ned Stark kind of died, Robb Stark kind of just became the de facto leader. Like this guy looks like leading man material. He does look like, okay, this is the guy who's going to avenge his father. He's going to kill the Lannisters. He's going to not be the king, but he's just like he's going to avenge his father. And then I think in season 3, well, throughout the remaining seasons, he fell in love. He was about to have a kid, and so he had a purpose after this war was over. And then no, we got freaking Mr. Finch from Harry Potter, and he like kill them all, kill Robb Stark, kill the mother, kill the wife, kill the baby. Like, oh my god, they killed the baby. Like they freaking stabbed him in the abdomen. Oh my god, or the stomach, or where the womb. Okay, sorry, I'm not being medically accurate here. I'm just, it's past midnight when I'm recording this. Be fair to me. Not to say that I'm supposed to record this when I'm tired and dreary, because no matter where, I always record this show at night for some reason. And yeah, seeing Jon Snow go beyond the wall was pretty cool. Now that I remember that, his brief relationship with that wildling girl, and that didn't end so well. I think season 4 did stand out more. Like I do remember, I don't think the trial happened yet. This season, the trial did happen. The trial again showcased that trial in season 4. Like season 4 had more memorable moments. Now I'm starting to slowly recollect it. Seeing Joffrey die, like finally. And then we got introduced to Ramsay Bolton, played by Yvonne. I can't. He has a very complicated last name. I'm not going to butcher it. He eventually showed up in Inhumans to kind of like continue that same character from Game of Thrones into Marvel. And I'm sorry, it didn't work. It just didn't work. Even that show, I'm like, I was just, God, I'm going to review Inhumans someday. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm going to bash that show to the ground. I really will. Anyway, but that's a separate show for another day. And so, yeah, season 4, they introduced us to him. We see, the invasion, and we also see the trial of Tyrone, which is was a really well done trial. Everything was again. I really felt sorry for him. I really did. When his girlfriend or romantic interest actually was like banging his father while he was doing this. Like, oh my god, I feel so sorry for him. Like, this guy is not catching a break. Then we get to season 5, which is I think that's more recent, so it's more in my mind. Seeing Daenerys slowly getting progress towards like her mission of being the queen of Westeros. Seeing Arya continue her journey, Sansa. Oh my god, I felt so sorry for Sansa. But I think that's season 6. Not ever. I think that was a season 6 plot line. Jon Snow becoming the leader that he's meant to be. I might not remember much from season 5 at all. This is kind of a weird review, guys. What else was season 5? Yeah, I think that's when the White Walker threat started becoming more and more serious. I think that's when we're starting to like really escalate them. And season 6, after the season 5 finale where Jon Snow gets stabbed multiple times. Like, I made a joke to this to my friend. I texted him after I saw the episode, and he loves Game of Thrones, by the way, so he understands everything I say. I told him, like, did Jon Snow really need to get stabbed that many times? I mean, really? That's kind of was a bit excessive. And then it was the whole resurrection thing in the follow-ups of season 6, and getting to see Jon Snow get his revenge on those people. It's like, good. They freaking deserve it. They really do. Like, they got their job. Even the kid, I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. You deserve this. Like I remember like the first episode, which is I think the only episode where Jon Snow was actually dead, like full from episode beginning to end. Seeing him like kind of take a back seat, it's like, yeah, he's gone. We're moving on from him. And then next time it's like, nope. Fuck you. I think that's the one time I've actually been against a kid on a TV show. Like, nope, this kid deserves to... Whatever happens to him, oh well. And I've always heard a lot of brutal things about Ramsay Bolton. And I'm not saying that Ramsay Bolton was more vicious and evil than Negan ever was in The Walking Dead. That's a fact. The fact that he tortured Theon for months. He chopped off his dick. He destroyed his self-conscience. He has done horrible things to women. He killed his own little brother by feeding them to his dog. What the hell kind of villain is he? He has no soul. And it's like, thank the freaking Lord, Jon Snow punched the hell out of him in season 6. Like, season 6's last 2 episodes, I think, honestly, were really great episodes because like this was culmination. It's like, yes, Ramsay got what he deserves. He died a brutal death. Daenerys like finally had the fleet she needed to head to Westeros. Like 5 seasons of build up of like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. And the White Walker threat's still out there. They're coming ever so slowly. And yeah, so seeing Joffrey die, seeing the Lannisters kind of like the church subplot was kind of weird. Like, where did they come up? Like they were just a random, like they were just there. I'm like, okay, they just showed up at King's Landing and then they took over. Yeah, that was a weird thing. That was very weird. Like the Walk of Shame thing. Like, I don't want to show my. No, not gonna happen. No. Trying to think if I was forgetting anything during that very butchered recap of one of the best television series ever made. I don't think I forgot anything else. I really don't. Sam. Sam was a really great character. I love Sam. The fact that Sam still accepted a woman who had done very sketchy things in her past, and he was still accepting of that. It's like, good for Sam. Good for Sam for seeing the real person. Good for him. I don't believe I forgot anything else. I really don't. The whole rock. Actually, I think that's a season 7 thing, and I haven't watched. I saw a scene from season 7 because I'll talk about that when I get to season 7. Whenever that pops up. The one thing I'll give the show is that it really undermines expectations, especially in the earlier seasons. Like, you expect this thing to keep going like the traditional journey sense, and then nope, you just immediately go sideways. Like, nope, that's not how it's going to turn out. I'm like, I'll give the show credit that, but beyond that, beyond a few moments that are going to always stick out of my head for the rest of my mind from that show, for me personally, it was way too overhyped. If I couldn't have watched it in 2010 because I was 13. My parents would never have allowed me to. I don't even think I had HBO at the time. So I yeah, I don't believe I would have ever had the opportunity to see the show when it was still starting because it wouldn't never happen. So this was the case. I talked about this on a Legend of Talk a long time ago about overhyped. Overhypedness is a thing, and Game of Thrones was really overhyped for me. I understand like sometimes even when you are overhyped, you can still see the value and like, oh, this is why people understood this. I get that, but the problem is when everyone talks about it for years and years and years. It's just like you have this like there's the gold bar, and for me, it's like it's a silver bar for me because you can't help people. It's like you gotta get out when you can, otherwise don't. And this is one of the maybe for me, maybe I was never meant to see Game of Thrones. But I've seen 6 seasons, and my best friend has warned me, please do not watch the last season. Just stop at 7, and just consider that the ending. I'm like, nope, I've survived a lot of bad seasons. So I will get to that season. I will. When will that be? I don't know. I really don't know. Because, funny story, like, I had DVR'd the last Game of Thrones Season 8 episodes on my DVR. I can't find them. They're not there anymore. So I'm thinking maybe my sister or my mom deleted them. I'm like, oh great, I now have to buy a very expensive season for 6 episodes of television. Thank you for monopolizing the system, HBO, and charging so much money. I mean, I understand thing I'll talk about, the production quality on these episodes. Like, holy damn, they have increased over this is a movie. Like, they're using cinematic cameras. This is a movie. Like, this is like the closest thing to movies. And I think people said more about them between 7 and 8 that they're really more cinematic than before. It's like, I can't wait to watch them in terms of like seeing how much the quality has changed from season 1 to 8. And again, overall thoughts. I'm not trying to bash on Game of Thrones, so it's like I apologize if like I'm not the biggest Game of Thrones fan in the world. I'm not. There are much bigger people than me, and I respect HBO for making this show. I really do. I can't wait to watch the last 2 seasons. I don't know when I will get to them. But HBO has made some very valid content. I think this is a really good show. It's just, for me, I personally do not understand I don't personally see the critical acclaimness of the show. I really don't. And again, it has nothing to do with anyone. It's just because I was just way too overhyped on this. By other people, and so when I finally got on board with it, it was too late. I have already missed the bandwagon, and I'm gonna see how this journey ends, and then I will review its merit when I get there. But until then, I think it's pretty good. It's a good show, and I know a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh my God, why don't you now love this show?" It's like it was overhyped for me. I guess the medieval genre isn't for me, and it's just way too many storylines to follow. I think there's like 6 storylines in an episode. I get lost doing the rookies 4 at best. And that's 4. You want me to add 2 more? Come on. I'm not that complex of a mind. I'm a very simplistic person at times with my shows. This is why sometimes instead of watching another show I've been procrastinating on watching was... Sorry, I should have the show. I'll say my example right now, Smallville. Like, I'm watching Smallville right now. Like, I could be watching more episodes, but I'm like, I kind of want to watch Seinfeld. It's just so simplistic. Like, the storyline is just so simple to follow. Like, it's only 2 storylines. Switch back and forth. It's funny. There you go. And I understand that's a comedy. This is a dramatic, serialized show. I understand the difference. It's just sometimes I'm a simplistic person. I just want the simple things in life. But again, I'm not disregarding Game of Thrones at all. I'm not. It's still a good show for me. And I will stick through it to the end, regardless of how many people tell me, no, stay clear of it. Relax. I know what I'm doing. I've survived Arrow Season 4, I survived Flash Season 4, I survived Inhumans. I survived a lot of bad shows, guys. Don't worry. I will be fine. Whenever I get to 7 and 8. And I think that's going to do it for me. I'm not going to do my usual ranking thing I do, because it's a whole series. I can do a much better job talking about the whole show. Maybe when my friend eventually comes back from wherever he is, maybe I'll review the show with him. Well, this whole thing is over. This whole COVID thing is over. Maybe I'll review it with him. But when I get to season 7 and 8, which probably is more of a late 2020 type thing than a anytime soon kind of. I got a lot of shows to watch, guys. I got a lot of shows, and yeah, that's gonna do it for me, guys. So again, thank you guys so much for watching this very butchered series review thus far of Game of Thrones. If you are curious to see what else I do on What's on the Tube, I usually do episode reviews of The Rookie, Nancy Drew, and Katie Clean every single week, but they're currently on delays because of a multitude of reasons, so not this week. But if you're curious about Game of Thrones, I'm not your person. I will probably not talk about Game of Thrones again until whenever I finish season 7 and 8. Which will be very far flung in the near future. But hey, if you're interested in My Hero Academia or Big Time Rush, boy, you are right. Those are the next reviews coming up later this week. So stay tuned for that. But otherwise, again, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of What's on the Tube. If you want to see more of us, please subscribe to ActionX on YouTube. Please ring the bell for notifications when we have a new episode review live, or in this case, a series-ish review. Also, like, favorite, share, if you please. follow us on social media. Jesus Christ, guys, I'm so blanking out right now. Game of Thrones. I mean, if we were talking about How I Met Your Mother, it would be a very, very great episode. It's coming soon, guys. Coming soon. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching again. And always, stay safe during this time period. Stay home if you can. And be mindful, be smart during this time period. And hope we'll all get through this together. And things will hopefully get back to some semblance of normal. Alright, guys. Peace out.